Well, hello and welcome to another exciting and intriguing podcast or say discussion. We are here today because we have something very exciting brewing up. Myself, Ronak Kumar Kedia, I am excited to welcome you all. And yes, Adams Cricket Academy, which is an Australian-based cricket company, is organizing an Under 16 Cup Series this month. A total of 16 matches will be played amongst four teams across two formats, that is of T20Is and ODIs, of course. We are delighted to have amongst us today a very special guest who is obviously a cricket lover and an assistant coach for the Australian Colts for this tour to India. He has also been a leading run scorer for the KC South Melbourne Cricket Club in Australia. To welcome our guest, I would love to call upon Arpita so she can brief us about the league as well as our guest on the show today. Arpita, mic over to you.
Thank you, Ronak. So, as they say, cricket is a consuming and a very demanding game, and it takes a lot out of you before it gives you the kind of success you deserve. And Adams Cricket Academy is aiming to give this kind of exposure to the young boys early on so that they become confident of their skills. And to reach this pinnacle, it takes nothing less than grit, perseverance, and determination, and all combined actually. So today we have with us an exact example of all these traits that I just mentioned. He is a first grade Premier District player for the Cassie South Melbourne Cricket Club and is the one who will be accompanying the Australian Colts as an assistant coach for this tournament. Welcome, Luke Manders. How are you?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, sure. So, look, I'm going to start with a very simple, basic question about your journey. Because being an Australian, I believe it is not that tough to pick up cricket bat in one's early days because Australian culture and Indian culture in our cultures, picking up a cricket bat is not that hard at all. Like you ask a 2 3 years old who what do you what which sport do you want to play? First or second thing will come cricket. So that is not that hard. And what was your story of picking up that bat for the first ever time and getting associated with the sport? What was your story in this sport?
I was actually quite late to cricket from memory. I was probably about 8 or 9, so I probably took a bit of a slower path through primary school to get there. But I had a neighbour who was a bit older, and he actually took me down to a cricket club and got me involved at Chelsea Heights. And I used to go knock on his door every day after school and get him to throw balls at me. And I'm sure I might have annoyed him a few too many times after being every day after school, but he always threw them to me, and it just sort of grew from there. So haven't looked back. Probably had a year or two off as I got a bit older, sort of 18 to 22. But yeah, still playing now. So yeah, it's just been part of culture, and it's what you do at school and it's what you do with your friends. So yeah, if you're not playing cricket, you're playing footy in the winter here with Aussie rules, and as soon as that finishes, it's cricket, dust the lights off, and you're into cricket.
Yeah, I see the Chelsea love over there. I see that. I see the reference.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, your journey is exciting as as you just mentioned about your primary school and then getting over that. And you said that in winters, if you're not playing cricket, you are playing football. So that is for sure. Uh, Now that brings me us to a later part of your journey. Currently in 21-22 season, you were the highest run scorer for your club, KC South Melbourne Cricket Club. Look, in most of the tournaments or leagues, we see that batters start well, like in first 2 3 games, and then phase out. Like the tournament, they decline their form or say they are not being able to maintain that consistency throughout the tournament after 1 game or 2 game or 3 games maybe. But you have been a very consistent performer and the leading run scorer as well for sure. So what does it takes, like now you being a coach as well, so what does it takes, your insights on to being a consistent player throughout the tournament?
Yeah, well, I suppose I'm 30 now, so a bit of experience, definitely helps as you get a bit older. You work out, game situations a bit better, and you don't panic as much as you might do when you're younger. But I found personally, apart from having a good side around me that you can be confident in, if you do your work during the week at training, you can go into your game with a really clear head, knowing you've done the work and knowing you've done your best to give yourself a chance to perform. So I think that was a big one last year. Make sure you do your work before game day, so you're pretty clear in the head on game day.
Yeah, that is actually a pretty good advice to not think about anything else, but be pretty clear about what's brewing up, and just focus on the process and forget about what the results would be. Otherwise, you won't be that going into the game. If you are too much focused about what will happen on the ground, what will happen on the ground, it might not happen that way. So that is the process that you follow, and that is a great advice for any youngster that will watch this video later on, or say uh, in fact, the under 16 boys will be watching this video for sure. The three from India and one Australian Colts, they will be very excited about this, and the advice that you are giving and you will give for sure in this video as well, that would be a gold for them growing up. But that comes to a question where for which we are all here today, like your association with Bruce Adams Academy, like how did it happen, or how is the association like, and what are your feelings about this association, and how what are you looking forward to?
Yep. Well, it's pretty exciting, isn't it? I mean, when I was 16, 17, I don't think I ever had a chance to go in, overseas and get some exposure to different conditions. There's no doubt cricket will be different in India in the way they play compared to us. You're probably advancing yourself 5 to 7 years before you get that chance to actually play internationally if you're lucky enough. So what Bruce is doing here is fantastic. He's fast tracking some development for young men, and I'm happy to be a part of it with Steve. So if we can if we can give those kids, one thing to take out of the next 2 weeks and take it home with them for the future, then our job's probably done there, and hopefully they have a really good time as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is a great association, and I think the boys will be benefiting a lot from your experience playing as a player as well as coach, because those mindsets, both the mindset, coach's mindset and a player's mindset, those are two aspects that a young cricketer would look at. So you have both of them, so it would be very fruitful for them. And before we move ahead, I would give a shout out to Bruce Adams as well. The work he is doing, and that is brilliant. In fact, to talk more about that, I would call upon Arpita, because she would be the perfect advocate for that. Please, Arpita, take the dice, and a word on Bruce Adams, and then also about the tournament.
I would agree on that, Ronak, because Bruce Adams has had that vision for the young boys. He's trying to give them the platform to, present their skills early on in their careers and lives. He's giving them the platform to travel across continents to play. And it will be a very excellent opportunity for not just the Australian Colts coming in, but also for the Indian boys. And we have such amazing individuals on board. We have Luke, we have Steve. So I'm sure the boys have a lot to learn from them. And basically, Bruce Adams Academy, by the name Adams Cricket Academy, it's a sports academy based in India and Australia both. So they have the experience of organizing such events, and they have come up with this under 16 Youth Cup in Delhi. They'll be organizing multiple series overs matches in Delhi itself. So we have venues across NCR region. We have Noida Cricket Stadium. We have City Fort, which has great pitch and great platform actually to present their skills. And we'll be organizing a total of 16 matches, and we have T20 and 50 over matches, and it'll go on from 15th of September till 23rd of September. So this is what we have. This is what we're moving forward with at the moment.
Yeah, sure. I mean, in fact, that I'm looking forward to the Youth Cup actually, because such good people. I mean, inspiring people, of course, Luke and Steve himself. So I interacted with Steve yesterday. He was very, exciting to look at, and your conversation, like for with Luke. I mean, both the conversation looks great, and I mean, I believe that the boys, not just Australian Colts, but Haryana, Gujarat, as you said, would benefit a lot from these two guys as an individual, as they would learn as a competitor as well. So I believe it would be a great time. But that brings me to the my next question. But before that question, I would like to have some chit chat, some fun, some rapid fire questions with Luke. Luke, are you ready? And wear your cap if you are not already about that rapid fire question, because it would be rapid fire.
Okay, I'll try my best.
Sure. The first question goes like this. one match you'd like to be apart from the history of cricket, and why? Any match you can pick up, and why, of course.
One match in international cricket that I've watched.
Any match you have watched, you
Any
have heard
match?
about.
I think there was an Adelaide Test about would have been maybe 10 years ago. Time goes quick, but Australia are in a lot of trouble, and they I think Mike Hussey might have had a really big fourth innings and got us back over the line. I think they actually call it Amazing Adelaide, I think the test is referred to. So that's one that stand out in my head. But, you know, any Ashes series would be great to be a part of as well, I think.
Yeah. So that sounds great. And Mr. Cricket himself being a part of a squad, any match with him is special. So I believe Mike Hussey would have been an obvious
Yep.
choice. I would have guessed that actually.
And
Not
I think if you were to pick, you know, a game to be a part of in terms of the fans and the crowd, you probably can't go past your IPL, can you now? So that'd be pretty noisy, pretty noisy and exciting.
The environment is electric over here in the IPL, yeah, for sure. So
Yep.
next question is as you said about Michael Hussey. So I'm guessing that he would be the answer, of course, but I'm not too sure about that. So I would ask the question anyway. A batsman you would like to bat with, can bat be anyone in the world, like from
Anyone in
history,
the
from
world.
say, yeah, from history, from past, from future, whatever.
Yeah, I had a bit of a, you know, I felt a bit sorry for this bloke, and there's probably a couple of them like it in that area for Australia. But Brad Hodge,
Wow.
I feel like he might have been able to be, you know, somewhere near Ricky Ponting if he had the chances. Unfortunately, Ricky was the bloke that kept him out of the side.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would have loved to have bat with him. And when I was younger, I for some reason just tried to bat like Shane Watson. I just liked the way he went about it too, apart from going out on 90 a lot.
Yeah. Actually, Shane Watson is one of my favorite all-rounders of all time. Like I've seen him play live during IPL, and he just lambasted my favorite side, Chennai Super Kings, when he was playing for Rajasthan Royals. And then he came for Chennai Super Kings, and then lambasted Rajasthan Royals. So it was a complete circle for me. Shane Watson, I mean, he's definitely one player to watch.
Very good player, and probably underappreciated for a while, I think, in Australia.
Obviously, yeah. In India, we appreciate more. Like Shane Watson is the greatest all-rounder of all time. I mean, believe.
Yeah. So he's one of the best Australia's had, I think. So
Yeah, sure. So the third question: if you are to be picked by, as you said, IPL, you cannot look past or beyond that. If you are to be picked by one IPL or say Big Bash side, which one would you want to go, and why? If you have any favorite side.
I don't.
And before you answer that, mind you, this interview might go to some selectors as well. So you have to be very careful with your words.
I remember, how long's the IPL been going for now? Has it been 10 years now?
14 years.
14 years. So I remember when it started, I would have been about 16. I liked the sound of the Calcutta Knight Riders for some reason. I liked I liked the gold Guernseys with the navy blue, and I just liked the name. And my 3-year-old son, I take him to a lot of Melbourne Stars games at the Big Bash, but I've got a few, I suppose, teammates that might end up in the red side, so I might have to get him a red shirt soon, the Renegades.
So there's a rift in family itself. There is a rift in family itself.
Yeah, I'm pretty on the fence. So I don't mind. I take him to any cricket game I can. But yeah, we've got a couple of blokes that might end up in the Renegade side. So might have to make sure I get him a few more red tops than green.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting that you said about Kolkata Knight Riders, because they were the side. In fact, Brandon McCullum started the IPL whole thing, that zigzag thing, when he hit that 150 plus odd runs, and that actually started the IPL in 2008. So that being the favorite side, I don't doubt it at all, because me actually being from Kolkata, so I have no qualms about that. You can come to our side any day.
I don't even know where Calcutta is. I just like the name of it.
Okay, that sounds great actually. Let's go to our next question. So this is a bit tricky question. Face Rashid Khan on a turning track, or Mitchell Stark, one of your greats, on a wicket that has pace and bounce, maybe at Gaba or something like that.
I might be facing Stark because I'd rather the quicker the ball comes, that I like it a bit better than the slow spinners. Although Rashid
Definitely.
Khan is a bit quicker through the air, but yeah, probably Mitchell Stark.
Maybe Rashid Khan can fit into slow medium pacers, maybe medium pacers, right arm medium fast. Sorry,
I
left
definitely
arm
won't.
medium.
I definitely don't want to face the slow medium ones either.
Definitely. I mean, Mitchell Stark any day is like, when he's when he's on song, then no one is like Mitchell Stark. When his left arm Yorkers come in swinging, that is a treat to watch. I mean, recently we saw it against New Zealand, and that was devastating. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously for New
yesterday.
Zealand, yeah, yesterday. So
Yeah, look, I'm sure you probably wouldn't want to face either of them, but I'd probably feel a bit more confident facing Stark. I don't know about my health; it might be in a bit of trouble at the end of it, but I reckon I'd probably go out less times.
obviously you can't go old school with him without a helmet. So you will have to wear a helmet, of course.
Yeah, definitely. I always wear a helmet.
Yeah, sure. The fifth and the last part of the rapid fire is, if there has to be a word to be associated with the kind of player that you are, what word that you be? Because many of the players call themselves with nicknames. If you have to give yourself a funky nickname or an interesting nickname or any word that you want to be associated with your name, what would it be?
Uh, One word.
Yeah, like Ricky
Calming.
Ponting says, punter.
Maybe calming.
Calming. Okay.
I'm pretty calm, and I've been told I can sort of make partnerships out in the middle a fun place to be, and no panic while we're out there together. So that's how I try to play cricket. I try to make it as fun as possible as well. A bit of a
Yeah.
jokester every now and then, but calming.
Yeah.
I'd probably say.
Can we change the middle name to Luke Calm Manders? Actually, in this interview itself, it feels like that I'm talking to a saint, a Buddha type figure, like so relaxed, so calm, so composed. It has been indeed a fun chat, but now let's get to the technical parts of the game, because I just mentioned about your partnerships. So this season and previous in 2016-17, if I'm not wrong, you had partnerships with Michael Wallace as well. So you had brilliant 100 plus partnerships with Chandra Singh this season, and then Michael Wallace in 16-17. You have some memories of that, like if you can shed some light, some behind the scenes part of it.
Yeah, I think we're three probably pretty experienced players that you've named there. Ash is actually quite young, but he's obviously in the Victorian state squad now, so he's played a lot of cricket.
Yeah.
He's only going to get more experience now being in that sort of environment. But I think batting with either of them two, Wallace bats three. I think we got clear plans and we know our roles. We've always got a target we're looking towards, whether that's 20 runs or 10 overs or what that is, short targets to tick off as we go. And to be honest, we have quite a deep batting lineup, so we can play our role and be confident that if something were to happen and it didn't go to plan, we've got people down the order that can cover us. So playing the good side certainly helps. We've had some long years, and some of us haven't done so well. So when you got confidence in your entire team, probably brings the best out in people.
Absolutely. And to all those people that will be watching this video and the boys that will be watching this video, right now Luke gave a very good advice that when you have a target on board, you break down those target with your partners, like he mentioned about Michael Wallace and then Ashley. They are young blocks, but he said that he breaks down those targets, like first 20 runs, first 50 runs, first 5 overs, first 10 overs. Let's play 1 over at a time. He break down the targets, and that it would be easier to chase it down. So this is a very good advice for Australian Colts, of course, and the other three teams from India as well. So just keep this in mind when you are chasing a target or building up to a target. Keep your targets small, achieve them, so it feels like that it is achievable. If you think of 220 runs on the board in T20 format, then it would be a very difficult thing to get at the start. But if you think that no, 5 overs 50 runs, next 5 overs 50 runs, that could be achievable. So very good advice. Thank you so much, Luke, for that advice to the youngsters. And that brings me to the last question of the day. And in fact, the most important as well, how do you think a tournament like this will help Australian Colts like the under 16 boys? Because under 16, under 15 at your time might not have a A2s or Australia international tours. So, how do you think a tournament like this will help Australian Colts? What do you think is the benefit of having this tournament like the under 16 youth tournament in terms of players, under 16 players, kids getting exposure to the game?
Yeah, well, we've already been through, the opportunity of playing, overseas at such a young age. I think that's probably, up there with one of the main things that's great about it. But in Australia or Victoria, when you're in your junior cricket, you're under 16s and 17s. You get picked out of your local team, and you might train for a representative side, and you haven't met any players there before. So you need to be able to adapt and make friends and learn game plans and get the best out of yourself really quickly, because you might only get one training session sometimes. You might either make the team or you've been cut. So this next 2 weeks, it's majority of people haven't met each other. We're coming to one as a team that has never played with each other. So, and that's going to be their cricket for the next 5 years, going through the grades, trying to make representative sides, state cricket sides. They're going to have to adapt, meet new people, and play well with new people very, very fast. So this 2 weeks is great. They're playing international. They're meeting new people. They're going to have to learn and think quick. They've got 10 days to do it. So it's definitely it's a little bit of a snippet of their next 5 or 6 years of their cricket, I think, trying to get into those better sides.
Yeah, so the team environment culture, all that Luke is talking about is very, very different, because when you are exposed to a foreign culture, foreign environment, not just in India but any part of the world, when you are bonding in that environment, then it develops your communication skills, leadership skills in different sort of ways. So, Luke, final thoughts on how final thoughts or final advices to the Australian Colts under 16 players or Indian players as well. Your word of advice, how should they approach this tournament?
Well, it's basically probably going to be that. We get there, we land. I think we train in the afternoon, so we're gonna have a day to probably mix and meet everyone. Steve and I will have a couple of things in place where we can bond a bit the first day. It's going to be hard the first game, because we're going to have to try and figure out who is best suited to what position, and how the game's obviously played over in India a bit. But it's going to be a challenge for not only the coaches but for the players. But I think if the boys can bond really well off the field, be comfortable with each other, the coaches set clear plans and targets, as we've spoken about. I think we can go all right, and I think we're only going to get better as the tournament goes on.
Obviously, that's the way forward. You follow the process and lets the game play itself. And anyways, let's bring us to the last thing that we have. And thank you so much for your time. This was a wonderful and an educational conversation for me, at least. I would hand over the dais to Arpita to wrap this off, and whatever you have to say, Arpita.
Yes, I believe that this tournament is, I agree with Luke, and I believe that this is going to be a great learning experience, because Adams Cricket Academy is trying to make this tournament a mix of, recreational and competition. So the boys are going to learn the importance of good days as well as bad days, success and failures. So they are going to learn and grow in the process, and obviously, meet new people, network early on in their careers. So, in the capacity of a senior media manager, on the behalf of Adams Cricket Academy, to whoever is watching this show and whoever is in the Delhi and NCR region, I would like to extend an invitation to come watch the live matches with us on the stadiums. We are organizing these tournaments in City Fort, Delhi, and Noida Cricket Stadium. So everybody is welcome to come watch the matches with us.
And who cannot watch it live, what is the process to watch it online?
Surely. So the matches are being broadcasted live on YouTube at ACA TV. So everybody can catch up the live telecast there.
Sure, that would be great. And thank you so much, Arpita, for that lovely introduction about Bruce Adams Academy. And the whole tournament as well. And thank you, Luke, for your time and this wonderful chat, conversation, discussion, educational content, whatever you say. But that was a great time for me. I hope it was fun for you as well, Luke.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks for having me, and I look forward to getting, or I think I look forward to getting to the warmer weather.
Yeah, 10 to 40. It is a 30-degree switch.
Oh, yeah, I know. Anyway, that might take some getting used to as well.
Uh, Anyways, thank you so much, guys. It was a lovely chat, and here we wrap our thing. So, whenever you watch this, do tune in to Adams Cricket Academy. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care.